Hello everybody, my name's Ryan Hodgins and I am a future pupil barrister at St Philip's Barristers Chambers in Birmingham. My pupillage was supposed to commence on the 1st of April, but because of the current circumstances surrounding COVID-19, my pupillage has been postponed until the 1st of October and it will purely be based in crime when I begin. To give you a bit of background about myself, I'm 27 years old. I went to a state school. I grew up on a council estate. I did A levels, then I did a law degree. I spent 2 to 3 years in recruitment after that law degree. Decided that wasn't what I wanted to do, but felt my hand had been out of the law for a while, so I decided to do a master's degree at the University of Birmingham. I then progressed to do the bar course shortly after that, and that was my route to the bar. I obtained pupillage during the bar course. What I want to talk to you about today is networking, and more importantly how you can get the most out of the networking opportunities that are presented to you. Now, I'm sure that you would have all been told about various networking events that may be run by your university or school. But the University of Law, for example, ran quite a few throughout the year with both barristers and solicitors. There's also talks and lectures and those types of things where you get an opportunity to spend time with members of the profession. I found it quite difficult at first to network effectively, and what I mean by that is what generally happens at these events is that there's always more students than there are practitioners, and it can be quite difficult to have an opportunity to have a discussion with these people. So I came up with a way of doing that that would enable me to get the information that I required to assist my pupillage applications, and also to build up a general network for the future, because of course that's very important if you want to be a barrister or a solicitor. It's good to have contacts in the same industry as you. Not only can they potentially provide work if you're in my position moving forward, but it's good to have people to talk to in the same network. So the way that I devised that list was I'd firstly find out who the person was, where they were from, what their position was, and most importantly, whether they were on the pupillage committee in my case. But of course, you can probably apply that to either vacation schemes or training contracts as well. Once I had that information, I'd try and build up a general rapport, have a discussion about myself and them, find out what their route to the bar was. And then after that, I'd try and delve a bit deeper into their processes and what they like to look for in applicants. So I'd ask them what they would look for on their pupillage application forms. I'd ask them what would stand out in their view compared to other places, what was most important, what was least important, what were their bugbears, what they didn't like on applications, and I'd try and make a mental note of all that information. And after the networking event, I would write that information down to make sure that I had it to hand for the future and for my applications. If you feel that you're building up quite a good rapport, I also used to ask for the individual's contact details, and sometimes that'd be a business card, an email address, a telephone number in some cases. But what's most important is to not only gather that information but follow up on it. To give you an example, I was on a mini pupillage where I was watching a trial that involved the GBH, and I was only there for the first 2 days of the trial, but I knew that this trial was going to continue for another 3 weeks, the barrister I'd been placed with during the mini. So I asked him for his email address, and I asked him if I could come back to see the rest of the case. He said that was absolutely fine. I obtained his email address, I contacted him, and I viewed the rest of the case, providing him with another 2 to 3 weeks of relevant experience in the field that I wanted to go into. So that's just a short example of how you can turn those networking opportunities into something that actually shows your own progress and develops you individually. And that's the most important thing. It's an information gathering mechanism moving forward to ensure that your applications can be as good as they can for the sets that you apply to, or firms that you apply to. But it's also building up a wider network for the future. And what I mean by that is that I've now got a network of solicitors that hopefully will be able to provide some form of work moving forward. And they might not necessarily, but they will know other solicitors who may be able to. So you need to keep that in mind and make sure you keep on top of the people that you're in contact with. Go for coffees with them maybe. maybe go for a lunch if they've got the time, or even just a quick catch up or a chat. One final thing I'll say is there's a lot of organisations, societies out there that you can join that will assist you in giving you networking opportunities. So the Criminal Bar Association, for example, is quite a poignant one for myself, but more locally the Birmingham Law Society, and you'll find these in the cities all around. So it's not just specific to where I am. You'll find ones local to you as well if you do some research, or even ask your university or education provider. I hope that's helped. If you want any further information, please don't hesitate to get in touch. My name's Ryan Hodgins. You can find me on LinkedIn or elsewhere if you want to ask any further questions.